opposition, and that's good for our democracy, only for these new developments to happen. And so it's worrisome in many quarters, not necessarily because anybody is in bed with the ADC, but because it will be good to have a real challenge, a real game. If you say there's an election, it should not become a selection, or I mean a replication. I mean, just like you just go in there, you're already there. No, that's not what democracy is about. Democracy is about being able to choose people into office based on their antecedents, based on their performance history, based on the quality of their what they promise. And so this hits badly in many quarters around Nigeria. But of course, it will be good news in some other quarters. Every coin has two sides. So it won't be surprising to find that this is good news, even in the ruling party, for example, and for sympathizers of the ruling party. Now, so that's what we intend to talk about. First of all, I mean, in the final analysis, who is to blame? But that's not where we're going to start from. But who really is to blame? Okay, let me not go there now. And I have my guest, one in the studio, and hopefully one will be joining us via, online from around much later. And so the one in the studio right now, I will be bringing into the show immediately, and his name is Samaila Musa. He is the National Coordinator, Grassroots
Mobilization Initiative.
Grassroots Mobilization Initiative. Yeah, Grassroots Mobilization Initiative, GMI. Okay. Now, so you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. For some of you who are avid watchers of this station, you would recall that he's been here quite a number of times, and he can provide quite some scintillating perspectives, and I look forward to that even today. Like I said before, I did my very best to bring in legal perspective, and so I do hope that we're able to connect online with the other guests who is a legal practitioner, also a very well-known public affairs analyst, very solid, very articulate, very deep, and around Abuja especially. And he's not around, but we are trying to connect with him, and we do hope that we have a robust program. So welcome once again, and it's the polity. Now, I'll go straight to my guest now. When did you get the news? Was it yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yes.
How did you feel when you heard it?
In my opinion, I felt, because when this whole issue started, I postulated some likely things that is going to happen, because as far as I'm concerned, I felt the ADC is walking into a trap. You know, that's a party where you have very experienced politicians, people like Atiku Abubakar, at least.
Yes.
He's been in the game for, 30 or 30 something years.
Exactly.
Contesting for the same thing he's trying to get now. And so I feel it should have been coming from, or whatever decision the party will be taking will be coming, also borrowing from the wealth of experience he's gathered over the years. Aside him, most of the top guys,
yes,
most of the top guys there have also been around for quite a while.
Time, yes.
Yeah, so I'm sure they are conversant with what politics is in Nigeria. Yeah, they say politics is a game, but you see, it's like the game of chess. You understand?
Yeah.
You know what you're aiming for in the long run, but because the majority of the top guys in the ADC have been in one party or the other, they knew what gimmicks the people who are in power are likely to come up with.
Yeah.
So if you blindly or deliberately because you feel, because an average Nigerian politician is someone who, you know, when you're looking for definition of impunity, you know, that's what an average Nigerian politician is. As a matter of fact, there's a balance in the politics around Nigeria that just make sure you are the one somebody is taking to court. You know, don't be the one suing anyone. Let them take you to court. We'll always find a way around it. So do whatever you need, whatever abracadabra you want to do. Just make sure that you are on top of your game. Let somebody sue you. If you want to rig election, don't sue anybody that they rig you out. Make sure you are the one they are taking to court, that you are the one being rigged. Yeah, I mean, that rigged the election.
Which means it has to be the winner.
You know,
you have to be the winner.
A winner. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So I felt they shouldn't have walked into this same trap. We saw how when they started, they wanted to take over the SDP. You know, and then some people in the SDP were not comfortable with the total hijack of the party. Yeah. You know, and people like Atiku, who at one point or the other has floated the party. I think there was a time he turned that PDM into a political party, which ab initio during the late General Yaradua's time, it was a political movement, regardless of party. But he later turned it into a political party, which was registered, because I know they had an office somewhere in Mississippi back in the days. So I feel they should have looked for a platform where there won't be any rancor or any kind of issue. A platform, a political party either registered by one of them or something where they know they have total control. As of the time they arrived, after the issues they had with the SDP, as of the time they arrived, the ADC have only one rep member who was elected on the platform of the ADC. You know, someone from Kogi State, who is a member of the House of Reps. You know, I thought they had finalized all the arrangement, because initially when they started, the moment they started, you started having factions within the ADC. Some people felt the Onwosu's faction literally sold the party, because there was no consideration that really shows the presence of the initial members of the party or the executives of the party. So they felt, well, some people have collected money and probably issued receipts to this people coming to take over the party, and then some people feel, no, we can't go on like this, and then you hear rumor of going to court here and there, and the ADC big juggernauts kept playing with fire, because that's what it looks like at that point. Because immediately you ought to have been looking for a platform, because you know, in the game of politics that you and I are aware of, is that whoever also in the opposition can take advantage of the crisis you're having in your own party to complicate issues for you, because that's the way it is done. Whenever you are in opposition, you're fighting people who you feel are the likely people to stop your ambition, and so you are looking for every weapon that is going to be available to you to actually use against them. So I thought at that point should have been a point where they go back to the drawing board and start re-strategizing. What about if we think this state is not going to lead to this, what about if we led to it? What's our option B? Which, well, I don't want to preempt, I don't want to say they don't have, but whatever it is that is going on is going to play out again in the next few days or few weeks. We're going to get to the bottom of it, because time is actually running out. I think the last time I was here, I said time is running out against some of these guys, and it's already playing out. Now, by and large, is whatever it is that was done in the ADC, because I saw the protests yesterday, I knew that there was a judgment by the Court of Appeal around maybe 12th of March or thereabout, to say status quo should be maintained. They should, should be remained. Like the former executives of the party should be the executives of the party until there's another decision by maybe an upper court or something, which was not adhered to. And then when I saw the protest yesterday to Inec by this faction claiming this, that the Bala, the Honorable Bala from Gombe, and also saw with the banners, saw his picture and the picture of the only House of Rep member that is a member of the ADC on that. So I knew both of them are together anyway, to say we are the original members of this party, and this is what is going on that we don't like. Now, we can say whatever it is we think is our opinion, but you see, the court of law will work with what is before it.
That's correct.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's not about emotions, it's not about sentiment, it's about technicalities, what is presented to the court. You know, so we can say, oh, we have our own TV court here where we are deciding who won and who did not win. But the ultimate thing is that time is running out. And I think in that judgment, it was added because of time. They need to expedite action. So by the time I saw that crowd around Inec yesterday, and later on in the day, I heard about David Smack's leadership of the ESCOs with him and all that have actually been removed from the Inec portal. I know there's going to be trouble. And this is just the beginning of it. It all depends on what both parties are able to present before the court of law. That will what we decide. But if peradventure, I suppose the ADC should have a think tank who is already now working on what about in the event that, you know, we're booted out. Of course, that does not mean they are not what's it called? They are not members of the party. What it just simply means is that they are not in control of the party machinery anymore. It's now in the hands of some people who they perceive to be anti their own faction of the party.
So that's such a setting will not work for their purpose.
No, it definitely will not work. Even if it's going to work, it's really going to slow things down. It's going to be like more like a sabotage in the long run.
Okay. Now, so yeah, many people have said that if you create an opening for your enemy, you can't blame him for taking advantage of it.
Yeah, sure.
And somehow that's what has
playing out.
Played out thus far.
Yeah.
Now, but don't forget that this party or this set of people also have very limited choices. They could not have approached INEC to register a party under this current dispensation.
Yeah, so what I meant by that statement is that you will think someone like Atiku that knows he has a lifetime ambition of becoming president ought to have a political party in his kitty that, well, I'm just dabbling into the rest of them. But worst case scenario, I'm coming back to this party, because that was the initial purpose of registering PDM as a political party at the time. I don't know what befell the PDM, whether it's still in existence or not, I don't know as of now. But I know at that time he put Bashir Yusuf, Dr. Bashir Yusuf, as the chairman of the party, and they have a registered office in Mississippi. So I wouldn't know what has happened in that with that thing. But apart from him, he's not the only person who, people like even Peter Obi, by the time he started sensing that he might leave the Labour Party, he should have something also. If I'm running a company with a friend, for example, and I'm sensing some things, we might have some disagreement, I will register another company. In case any day that thing is no longer working, I already have a registered company I can use. You understand? Because it's career politicians we're talking about. So why wouldn't you have, I mean,
a backup plan? You
should have a backup plan, you know. And I thought people like Kwankwaso also literally owned the NNPP, because later on we saw where the NNPP is saying they are expelled, he's been expelled and all that. I really don't know, but I thought the party was actually his own party, except if it was just a decoy with what is happening. But I think those platforms will also be available if really he has, even though now he said he has resigned from it, but I mean, he can always go back to it.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Kwankwaso.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as it is right now, if this decision holds,
yes.
Okay. Now, just before this development, there was some reprieve.
Yeah.
That some opposition was actually developing. But now, what's the situation? What do you think is going to happen?
No, some opposition in what sense? Opposition to what?
Opposition to the ruling party.
Okay,
because we had all cried in this country that we didn't want a single, a one-party
system. Yes.
So, but now it looks like we're back to the one-party system in a sense.
Well, I think they still have time. I'm not sure. I've checked the INEC timetable recently to know when all primaries and whatever it is will be concluded. But I know the ADC haven't realized that time is running out. They've also got to a conclusion, even though it might not be official yet, to say they're going for consensus. You understand? So to save time and save some litigations that might arise from going through a proper convention where you begin to have some issues because time is already running out. And I think they cried out one time when the INEC timetable came out for 2027 elections, and they felt it was deliberately to because they knew they're still trying to come together and get their footing and all that, and then it's like INEC now brought back the dates. You understand? Yeah. So they felt it was because of them that INEC is doing that. But I mean, we can't really tell what exactly happened there, whether for or against them. What I believe is that they will eventually get another platform, a political party who almost is non-existent, because people like Atiku who believe they are institutions will always get people who will come. What they might not get is getting people into electoral offices like in the National Assembly and at the local government level. What I mean is maybe House of Assemblies in different states, because the timing is actually running out. Most people have actually pitched their tent with their parties, but I know in the long run some people will go with the presidential candidate and not the political party. So the earlier the better for them anyway, but that's the way it is for now.
All right. Now, this is quite interesting. If you, right now, there's been a battle over which party receives Bala Mohammed.
Yeah.
That is Governor of Bauchi State. And in fact, the ruling party is not lying low. They actually went there physically to see him and to discuss with him, as at yesterday, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And including at the very topmost part of the topmost seat in the party, the chairman and a governor went in tow to see him. Now, that makes his choice narrowed, is it?
Yeah, so what happened in Bala Mohammed's case is that, you see, I know they've been talking for some times, not just now. They've been talking for a while now. And his own fears, which I believe this is the position, is that some of the conditions he was getting at the time was that he's not going to field a governorship candidate under the APC. If he joins them, already they have people who have this ambition. As a matter of fact, there are two notable ones who are ministers, or one has resigned now to go and contest, Maita Matuga, and then you have Ali Pate, the Minister of Health. So he weigh his options. Will he forgo having a successor, handpicked by him, because he wants to join the ruling party? Even though I think part of the agreement was that he was going to get his senatorial ticket and then probably get a House of Rep for his candidate who was supposed to be who was supposed to be his successor, And then as a follow-up to that, I also heard one of the condition was that because his son, Shamsuddin, says something against Sheyi Tinubu at one point when Sheyi went to Bauchi, which was on social media, generated some kind of a buzz at the time, that he had to tender an apology to Sheyi, which 2 weeks ago we saw Shamsuddin in Sheyi Tinubu's office. It was on social media after they had a meeting and came out to take pictures. So when you want to say, oh, it might not be true, but there are things that are glaring. You understand? Yeah. Where you see these two sons of the president and that of Bala Mohammed coming together. So, but at some point, maybe a few days ago, because of the kind of momentum the ADC is also generating, because from the time they said Kwankwaso joined, the tide shifted a little bit to say, okay, so the agreement was Atiku will be the president even though we said it that time that to the next years that party belongs to him. People don't want to believe it. I don't see anybody who can go into that party to contest primary election against an Atiku and he will win. You know, you might win him in your region, but not in the north, and that is what we're going to decide.
And you don't think that he will back down?
He is not going to back down. That's not. He's not. Should we even stop thinking about Atiku backing down? It's not going to back down. So we saw what they said is going to happen is that Atiku will be the president, Obi will be the running mate, Kwankwaso will be the Senate president. Yeah. How true that is, time will tell. You know, and then it all depends on if they are able to manage, because of course these are people who are coming together because they are aggrieved from, you know, this one also tried being the running mate to the ruling party. He couldn't succeed and all that, and all of a sudden the carpets were pulled from under his feet. His own political son said, look, Oga, you are the one who started this conversation with me ab initio. Now we are seeing the goodies coming and then you want to back down. Probably it's just because everything is centered around you. It shouldn't be like that all the time, you know. And he said, well, I'm going ahead with what we started together. You understand what I'm saying? And the strongest political chip, bargaining chip he had at the time was having the governor of a state like Kano. You understand? So at that point, they started weighing their options. The political son is ready to join us, and as far as we are concerned, if we have the governor, you know, we're also making progress. So I think that worked against him. So really, they are all wounded one way or the other. And they are coming together now to say, look, whatever it takes, let's make sure we remove those people from office. To what extent they will succeed will start from now. The game has begun now. It all depends on how they're able to manage this crisis ahead of them now. This ADC issue, they didn't see it as an issue because a typical Nigerian politician feels he can always get away with anything. You understand? But the court are coming out with different things to say, look, we don't care whether you feel entitled to anything. It's not about entitlement. It's about what is being presented before us. And that's what we're using, you know, to arrive at the verdict.
All right, now we'll go on a break, and when we get back, we will take off from this point. All right, welcome back to the program, The Polity, and right now I want to see if we can connect with the other guest via, online, and it would be nice if we could just do that right away. Barrister Kasmir Igwe, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you.
Good afternoon.
It's good to have you. And Barrister Kasmir Igwe is a legal practitioner, so we want to have legal perspectives. And he is a very popular public affairs analyst here in Abuja and around the nation. And so I'm glad to have you once again. Thank you for showing up for us.
Thank you. My pleasure, as always.
All right. So you heard the news that the INEC has said that as far as it's concerned, ADC have no people to present as their National Working Committee, and they will not be attending any congresses or convention convened by this set of leaders. How did you receive that news?
Well, it was shocking in the sense I see it as a grave danger for our democracy.
Okay.
Because yes, maybe for the politicians, it's okay for them because that's what each and every one of them will aim at, to have an advantage over the other
person.
But with the way and manner that this has come up is a bit worrisome. Okay, why do I say so? Using the instrumentality of the law to stop another political party, because so far as I'm concerned, this is about stopping the ADC from participating. Looking at the timing, the timetable of INEC, and the general political environment in Nigeria, is as if we are tilting towards a one-party state.
Exactly.
Okay, but for me, what matters is what is the position of the law.
Yeah.
Coming from INEC, and INEC is doing their work. And part of work is to, one, ensure that they obey lawful court orders.
Correct.
Yeah, they are not above the law. Number two, to also regulate political parties and their affairs to the extent they have the power to. But when it comes to what just happened, I look at it in line with the law as an internal party affair, because we are talking about leadership of the political party. When our law retrogress to a point that the point of whether the court has jurisdiction or whether the court doesn't have jurisdiction to interfere in domestic affairs of political parties. We've seen a whole lot of it. Serious upsurge, especially in this dispensation. And I think INEC themselves, who some concern is a custodial of democracy, should be careful with their actions and actions. Now, in their own law, even in this 2026 Electoral Act, I think section 83 or thereabouts, the entire section, particularly 83 sub 5 or so, that so to say, try to regulate and oust the court's jurisdiction when it comes to internal affairs of political parties. In fact, sub 6 of that section, is clear and straightforward that no court should grant even any interim or interlocutory order when it comes to the issues of party membership or leadership. Now, what we have is an interpretation of an order of court. The question is, who is to interpret? Number two, will it be the intention of the lawmakers and the courts that a duly registered party should stay without leadership? Because as it stands today, there's a leadership vacuum. If they can't recognize...
nature abhors a vacuum, yeah?
Exactly. And there are still things that we're expecting them to do pursuant to the upcoming election. So could lawmakers and the courts be that teaming supporters or those who prefer to exercise their franchise, supporting this party should be disenfranchised? That the political party duly registered should stay without leadership? I don't think so. And that is why I think that they went overboard by overstretching the interpretation of maintenance of status quo ante bellum.
Okay.
I know that the courts have repeatedly interpreted what it means. So I don't know where they are basing their own interpretation
on.
One, I know that such interpretation comes to preserve the position as at the point of filing of an action.
Exactly. But so don't forget that the current chairman of INEC is a legal practitioner also and a senior advocate of Nigeria. So is it possible for all of that to escape his notice?
Now, you don't look at it in that manner, because he's only a man acting as the chairman. They have their legal department.
Yeah.
They have other commissioners they are working with. So what has happened is not about the chairman. Yes, he's the leader, but it's about the institution.
Yeah.
It's about the institution,
right,
that should know better. Yes, if other chairmen couldn't understand these things,
that's the whole
by
point
virtue of being a law professor,
yes,
being a law professor should, and the senior advocate,
yes,
should know better in if examining the conduct of INEC. Like in this case, all you need to do is, okay, if the leadership, as it were, resigned, these people came in, there was NEC that ratified all of those things, and the matter is in court. The court has made an order. INEC is due to obey that order. But the problem here is that in obedience to that court order, you can't create more legal problems worse than the one you're trying to solve. Even if there's a policy that you recognize that you don't recognize any of the parties, it is wrong. It is wrong policy. Nature itself abhors vacuum. Even the law abhors vacuum. So somebody must be in office. They have to review. So far I'm concerned, I'll call on them to review that position, as it were. Number two is not to correct.
You believe that they should review that position?
Yes. I will call on them to
because
review
as far as you're concerned, the interpretation of status quo antebellum is not properly interpreted in this matter. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because law will not lead, interpretation of a law should not lead you to absurdity. And that is what has happened here.
Let me quote what you just said. Interpretation of the law should not lead to absurdity.
Exactly.
All right?
Not be the intention of makers.
And you said a while ago, in trying to solve a problem, you should not create a worse problem than what you were intended to solve, right?
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Now, so that's what I think it is.
Let me because I need to get back to the guests in the studio, and then we'll get back to you again. But just before you go, now, is there no part of the blame of all of this that the party should be responsible for?
Now, when it comes to the party, for me, political parties should be responsible. And that is why even INEC should also help them. Because if I'm in an office and I have an opposition who says I cannot walk through the opposition to create this kind of confusion so that the people be disenfranchised. Okay, so the party should learn how to play policy. I don't know.
So that they should not. If you create a vacuum, a loophole, you can't blame your enemy for taking advantage of the loophole.
For exploiting it, yeah.
For exploiting it, exactly.
Yes, but the law can work into a stop such mischief. Because it's no longer about the individuals now, it's about the system. It's about the same.
I don't know.
Now, how is it that
we're having some of your words are not coming out completely. So let's see. Maybe we'll come back to the studio first, and maybe hopefully when we get back, the connection will be better. Thank you. Now, so he said a whole lot of things, and maybe the next time we'll have a better connection so you can also flow with what's going on. Now, so he's saying that you should not, in trying to solve a problem, create a bigger problem. Because as it were, this is a much bigger problem where you have a situation where the party will not have candidates, if it's not managed well, will not have candidates to field. And it's also saying that the fact that he's saying that nature abhors a vacuum. Even the law does not accept a vacuum, that at any point in time there should be people who are in there. Now let's progress. Now what do you think ADC can do right now?
Well,
to get out of this problem,
I think is to really get their acts together. I think one of the points the nephew, Honorable Nephew, is making is that, that he took to court, is that the emergence of the David Marks leadership of the party did not follow democratic process, which is valid anyway. And I told you, average Nigerian politicians is the definition of impunity. A lot of times they just feel
they can get away with
anything, that this is Nigeria, there's nothing that's going to happen, even though when you know that we need to follow a process to arrive at this to make sure. But I can tell you, issues like this, even after the election, it can come up, you know, to say, look, the process that led to your emergence
exactly, and it makes it more dangerous.
Makes it more dangerous, because if peradventure, if you feel, let's even take a scenario to say, oh, the ADC won the election, and the president is saying, no, there are litigations, you cannot hand over to somebody who emerged as a flag bearer ab initio that is faulty. Through a faulty process.
Yeah.
We'll see where governorship people who supposedly won the governorship were thrown out eventually at the Supreme Court because it's not because the ballot counting did not declare them winners, but because of technicalities.
Correct.
You understand? So I think the earlier the better for them. Like I said earlier, they can look for an alternative platform. Forget about having majority in the National Assembly if you really mean to win the elections. You understand? We've seen where governors emerge where they only have maybe 2 members of their.
They don't even have. They don't
even have. Even Peter Obi does not have that kind of number when he became governor in that state. So they just need to get their acts together. Perhaps call the nephew guy to a round table or to negotiate with him if he wants the Minister of Petroleum after the election.
But you see, even if they agree that now. The judiciary works at snail speed. So, except okay, if they are saying
it was
go
stated
to court
in the
and
judgment.
say,
it was stated in the judgment
that
you need to expedite action because of the timing.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes. So what should Nafi Gombe be doing to salvage the situation?
He is not the one to. The ADC will be the one to salvage the situation.
So they should ask him to take the matter out of court.
Yes, and negotiate with him if they really want to. You know, because this can drag longer. He can also appeal whatever judgment. Anyway, the Supreme Court will determine what's going to happen.
Now, don't forget, you mentioned a while ago that there's every possibility that there's a political hand in this. Or you said something.
No, I didn't say that. But I'm saying don't create a situation where your opponent, because you're also looking at what are the mistakes by the opposition, so you capitalize on it. He's also looking out for your own mistakes to capitalize on it.
Yeah. So in the kind of scenario that we're in, and knowing the kind of environment we operate in, is it not possible that while the ADC is making an offer, another Jacob and Esos will make an even more
better offer.
tempting offer, and then
you see,
logjam is created.
A lot of times we make some mistakes. We think this kind of issues happen only in Nigeria. All over the world, in advanced democracies, there's a special team in some countries where a presidential candidate have a special team doing some sort of PR, but their core assignment is looking for faults. Whatever you anything
that they can capitalize on. Them.
It might be something you did 30 years ago.
They want
to dig it out.
To articulate.
You understand? And make it look, something that is going to work against you. So it happens all the time, and this is, an avenue for others to learn from it. To say, look, let's sit down. We are going into a merger, or we're taking over a party, whether we are buying it, we are collecting receipts. Are we sure everybody is actually in tune with what is going on? You understand? Both in principle and otherwise, do we have the consent of the people who matters? Let your legal team sit down and look into everything. Are there loopholes in this agreement we are signing? Because whatever you arrived at,
can this be used against us? Can this be used against us?
Even from that takeover of the party, where literally all the ESCOs, the former ESCOs of that party were thrown out, or either resigned, or whatever arrangement that happened, makes it look like we are buying, we are collecting receipts kind of situation.
Okay.
And the only person elected under that party is not with you. At that point, he was the first person to raise an alarm. From there, you should know there are likely problems.
Yeah, that there could be landmines
you understand?
Along the way.
On the way.
Yeah, so maybe they really needed to have done better than
what. Yeah,
and especially when you consider the antecedents, the pedigree of the people involved, like you listed Atiku, and we're talking David Mark, we're talking Ralph Aregbesola, we're talking Rotimi Amechi, we're talking Bolaji Abdullahi, and some people like that.
And you see, a lot of times, if you know the budget of INEC and an election year on litigations alone, you will marvel. We're talking about millions and millions of naira that INEC spend on different lawyers, cases in court and all that. And so also INEC a lot of times try to reduce, to minimize. What do we do? So to avoid these court cases, because the money we're spending on court cases, on lawyers and all that is too much. So sometimes they also step in to say, look, no, we have too many court cases already. Some are still in court, even from probably last election or something.
All right, let's go back to Barrister Kasmir Igwe, if he's still there. Barrister, are you still there?
I am here.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks for staying there. Now, we're saying, if you had to counsel, incidentally, this is going to be free counsel, but you're not going to charge for this. If you had to counsel the ADC leadership that is troubled right now, what would you be saying to them to get out of this situation?
Well, just like my colleague in the studio has said, this is not a time to grandstand. Time is of the essence. So they should get back to the round table, let them discuss it. If I should believe the interest of the party at heart, that's why he's taking these steps. Maybe certain things were not properly defined. So let them get back, discuss it quickly. They can have an out-of-court settlement and the matter is gone. Because if their opponent gets to him first, it becomes a problem. A very serious problem for them. That's the truth.
If it consents to them at any point in time, it's dangerous at any point. Yeah, so they ought to have managed this before now, clearly.
No, it's not still late. It's not still late. Why we are saying this is that, you see, in politics, anything is possible. Okay? Let's take, for instance, look at what happened to PDP.
Exactly.
In fact, the major issue they had was even the Lamido's suit. But look at Governor Lamido joining in weakest faction of PDP convention. How do you interpret that?
Yeah, very interesting.
Good. So this is the time for them to reach out. I know why I'm saying this. If they are serious with 2027, they have to drop their ego. They have to drop anything that is making them feel that they have it all figured out. Sit down, sort this matter out. If it becomes difficult, they should better move to another platform.
All right.
Because this is an both of you that will not blame anyone.
I agree on that too, that if it's taking too much time and if it's going to be complicated, then they look for another platform. Yes.
That is if there's a platform. That is if there's a platform that doesn't have a K-leg already.
Yes, it has to be a platform that doesn't have a K-leg. And if you ask me, I may not mention a particular one, but I think that there's one that one notable senator just crossed over to recently. That might just be available. But even as we're talking, that's what my guest was saying. You can be sure that the ruling party's people, their strategists are already working on that also ahead. That, okay, exactly. What if they say they want to go here? And that's what every party should have, like he's saying.
No, but sorry, sir, if I may cut in here, you see, even though that is good for the ruling party,
yes,
I don't think it is good for John.
You don't think it is good for...
It's not good for us. It's not good for the nation.
Okay.
Yes, it's not. Okay, it's high time that women in Nigeria sit up and ensure that at least democracy works as democracy instead of creating our own version of democracy that is not democratic.
So this idea of creating problems in other parties through subtlety and all that, it needs to really stop, right?
They need to check it.
Hello?
Yes, I said it needs to be checkmated.
It needs to be checkmated. We'll leave you now. We do appreciate, enjoy your stay where you are. I don't want to say that in live for your security purpose. And I do hope that you prosper in what you want to do. And when you come back, let's have some of the spoils of war.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. All right, so we will be concluding shortly, but then I think that we need to begin to, he said something just now that well-meaning Nigerians need to begin to speak to this idea of creating crisis in opposition parties. You know, these things, if you like, are mainly in the realm of conjecture. Except some people will really delve in and really dig it up. You can't, it's difficult to put a finger on it and say this person did this. But they, like they say, there's no smoke without fire. And so he's saying well-meaning Nigerians need to begin to say, look, mind your own business in your own party, run your party well, but don't begin to create problems in other parties in order to weaken them so that you can be strengthened. What you say to that? Well, after all, it's all not fair in war. All is fair in war.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I wanted to say. You see, because the point is, we learned a lot of lessons. Our politicians learned a lot of lessons from what happened during Jonathan. Jonathan was the only person who will let go of 5 governors because of a chairman. It's about electoral value. What are you bringing to the table? Some persons will almost kill to have a governor in their kitty.
I mean, imagine that after the current ruling party has over 30 governors in their kitty, they're still fighting over Bala Mohammed, right?
Yeah. So, like you said, all is fair. If, for example, I feel, look, the way things are going, I just want to win landslide. I don't really want any trouble. I've learned from the last election, for example, I saw the way the voting system went, or the pattern went, and this time around, I don't want to take any chances. And I keep saying, it's only when they are in the opposition that you hear people crying. They were part of the people who applied the same system against some other persons when they were in power. You understand? That is just the truth. Some of these guys were insiders. They were what we call kitchen cabinets in some other president's time.
And they deployed the same kind of
strategy. They already knew. So, and that's why sometimes I wonder, why are they not thinking? Because you put yourself like you are the one now on this side. What will the opposition is likely to do, or what are they likely to come up with? So you preempt whatever it is. You think ahead and say, look, I know they might want to say this, or they might want to do that, and all that. And that's the same thing image makers of perhaps presidents do to say, Mr. President, if you say this thing, this is what the opposition will likely respond with. Do we have an answer to that? We need to have a response ab initio before you even say that. Otherwise, we'll advise that you shouldn't even mention it and all that. So there should be, people should just be more proactive. You understand? Because if you are in the man's shoe, you're going to do the same thing. So if we want the system to work, we all have to work together. By the time they all started jumping from one place to the other, it already created some kind of scenario to say these people are homeless. They're just roaming the streets. You understand?
And in the process, as they jump from this place to that place, they will keep losing. There are people who no longer
losing steam.
Yes,
you understand?
Losing steam, losing membership.
Because that party where you are living also is not everybody that is coming with you.
That's the whole.
The party you are going. Are you really thinking that there will not be problem in where you are running to?
No, they probably would have learned their lesson now.
Well, another election, the same thing will still happen, you know, because perhaps they will be on this other side by that time, and some other persons will say, "Oh, this is the same tactics you applied the other time when you were on this own side and all." But you see, they keep doing the same thing. They're all the same thing. The same thing. The same people. You know, the same people who, some of them were even with this government in the last election. They agree, they team up with the people who were not with them at that time, who were in opposition, to say, this was what we did to you people at that time. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the Nigerian politicians. You can't pick one person out to say I single you out. It's all the same thing. When you think, oh, this one is not this, but when you dig down, you're going to find those stuffs you try. I mean, that's really hidden. And in Nigerian politics, don't go into it if you really want to maintain your sanity. The moment you go into it, you begin. We saw how Peter Obi was saying the reason why he's coming together with people who stole money or who are corrupt is because he wants to change them. Who said that? Why would you go national or and make those kind of statements? You're going to change who?
Is it impossible?
How do you want to change? Look, why do you want to associate with?
Let me say this because I believe that that's possible. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking that question. And I'd like an answer from you. Now, it is reported.
Yes.
Widely reported. Very much believed. Very much promoted. That one person, Lee Kuan Yew, turned around the story of Singapore. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Do you believe it?
What's the population of Singapore?
No.
What's the? You see, this is where what we are saying. The moment Nigerians start comparing other countries, they are not looking at underlying factors. We are not together in Nigeria. First and foremost, we are not together. We are together on paper. We are not together in the real sense of being together. Until that time, when corrupt people are not being shielded because they come from this part of Nigeria. That's when we're together. If we come from the same state and I decide to check your books, people are not going to say, oh, it's because he's from that other local government, that's why I'm persecuting him. The same people, we saw how even people like Malami, for example, in Kebbi, how can we forget that just yesterday when Buhari was in power, these are the same people who were reckless with the judiciary, who did all sorts, impunity wise and all that, who prosecuted people, did not follow any court processes, who stole money and all that. The evidences are there, they are still in court, and you see people downtrodden in Kebbi coming out to hold interviews in defense of such people. How do we change? You can't change a country that is still like that. You understand what I'm saying? The same people whose money is with them and now the one coming out to defend what is not there. It's the system. You can't just take care of one aspect and leave the other aspect without being taken care of.
So you don't think a Lee Kuan Yew situation can
it's not going to work here. There are people who are still working free. The reason why they can't be arrested is because it's going to create some kind of uproar, which perhaps the government, which it has been happening year in, year out. I told you here sometimes back, Mohamed Abacha just said he's not going to let this guy go scot-free because he gave an analogy. They asked him a question, Mr. President, what was the only thing? Is there anything that has given you sleepless nights since you became president? And he said just one thing. Say, what's that? He said, Mohamed Abacha. He said, the case is somebody stole something from you and you see it in his hand. Give it to me. And the president said, no, you must write an agreement to make an arrangement or how I will return it. How can I sleep under that kind of circumstance? You understand? He said, and before you know it, emirs came from all around the place to say, Mr. President, you just have to allow this boy. It was his father who stole. It doesn't matter. But his father stole, is there. You can't say because your father is the one who rented the house and now that your father is dead, you now say you will not move out of the house and you will not pay rent because it was your father that had an agreement with me. It doesn't work anywhere. You can't take over my property because it's your father is now late. Until we begin to do the right thing, we can't take care of one part and say this other part does not matter. No, it has to be holistic. The same people. If everybody will come out, he will tell you, oh, this was what we did when we were there. This was what we... It's all balderdash. They're all the same thing. There's nothing different. It's because some people are being shut out of the power equation and that's why they are aggrieved. They feel, look, they have to be there forever. There's nothing that is going to take them out of this equation. So really, it's a very massive problem we're looking at. Until we are one in this country, really, new kind of system cannot really work in this country.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. If you ask me, that takes us to a place of hopelessness. It means that we're in this for a long haul.
It will take a while.
That's not positive. It's not positive at all. And I do hope that in that case, if one Lee Kuan Yew will not do, then we'll probably suddenly have For example, if we have 36 Lee Kuan Yew's, each 37, each one in every state, and the FCT, we probably could make.
But mind you, you see, the problem is we are our leadership.
Correct.
That's it. So your leaders didn't come from Togo. You didn't go to Nigeria to go and pick them.
Let's take it to the Lee Kuan Yew thing. Lee Kuan Yew is also a product of that system.
Yeah.
And the system was terrible before he turned it around.
Because the country was one. Yeah. So that makes a whole lot of difference. What you can do as scot-free in America, you can't do it here. I mean, we saw how in America a president, also his son also became a president. Over here, people will ask questions, are you the only people? Are we practicing monarchy? Because at that place, there's no issue of region. He came from here, we don't speak the same language, and all those things don't really exist. And that's why it's easier to maneuver things in that kind of system. Rather than here where specifically, you see, ethnicity and religion are fundamental. When they go there, they tell themselves lies. When they go to their people, they tell them another thing. You understand? We're on that round table to say now we're together because we want to chop together. We are one. You go down there, you tell your people a different thing to say, look, don't worry about what is happening. We know what to do and all that. So really, it's we are very divisive and all that. It really, it's a very terrible thing, you know. Yeah.
All right. So this is probably how far that we can take this, okay, let's take a break. All right, welcome back. And as we begin to close, I'd like you to also know that the line is open. 08029938365 is the number. If it's too fast, let me slow it down at 08029938365. Now, so please do call in case you're interested in this topic we've been dealing with. Now, so you were speaking before that break.
Yeah. Well, as we're rounding up, I'll just say that if I were in ADC's shoe, for example, like we established before, the best option is to look for another platform, and also make sure that you check that other platform to make sure the process of you taking over that platform is also going to be litigation free, you know, in the long run, and then just do the right thing. You can't come with this larger than life image to say you want to take over everything. There will definitely be some aggrieved people who feel we have labored for this party for the past 8 years. How do you just throw us at the back? Even right now, you are throwing us this far. If you come to power, then that means you're not even going to listen to us. So there should be some kind of you know, a system of taking over where it says some of your members will still remain as ESCOs that they have been for all these years, just to give the other people some level of confidence, a sense of belonging that, look, you're not going to be thrown out.
All right, there's a caller here. Let me quickly take this. Sorry. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mohammed. Is that Mohammed from Maiduguri?
Yes. I just came in. As I just seen him, I know you were their guest. Let me quickly contribute one word.
Okay.
That, Nigeria is a country for all of us. Okay, let me talk louder. Nigeria is a country for all of us. And as a result of that, we must all come together in everything we are doing in order to what? Salvage our country. That is my concern. Politicians are politicians. Politics have come and gone. And political appointment or political seat is a temporary. Somebody will do it after a period of time. He has to go. Somebody else comes. We are not in a room where politicians can stay for 40 or 50 years of power. It can never happen in Nigeria. No matter how the people in Villa try to cover up whatever they want to do. One day they will not be here. But those people who were there before, they are not there today.
Correct. Mohammed, so what do you have to say concerning this particular topic?
This particular topic is a lesson to all the political Maradonas, who run from one party to another. You know, it's going to continue that kind of a thing. Hopefully, because it's not possible. You contest in a particular party and win. Then after a miracle, somebody, just change that particular party, abandon, go to another party because they are their own interest. This is one of the wrong things that Nigerian politicians are doing. Many of them now looking at EFCC, ICC must not catch me if I go to the ruling party. That's the wrong thing is removed from Nigerian politicians.
Incidentally, I think that okay, the topic at hand today is a little bit different from that, but you say you just came in, so I understand and will excuse you. Let's see if there's someone who actually has been following and will quickly call in, because we have very limited time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the only option left for them is to make sure that is litigation free, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, such that they don't find themselves where the people in opposition really want them to be. Right. Because right now they are actually in where they wanted them to be. You know, and that's their joy.
They have them in
the same spot where they wanted them ab initio, you know. And if I was the president, I would be happy that they're making these blunders. You understand? Yeah, of course. Do I want to lose election?
So
they also will not want to lose election.
Champagne is being popped in some quarters right now.
Of course, justifiably it should be popped to say they are the ones that are not doing themselves.
And there's a Yoruba song, you know. So, all right, I guess we will just call it a day at this point. I must say thank you, my very beloved friend. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
all the time. And most of the time at short notice. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for your perspectives. And I must say thank you to all viewers from around the world. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Kaftan TV and for making your station of #1 choice. I also would like to say thank you to the production team. Thank you, every single one of you. I won't want to list names and miss out any name, but you know yourselves. Thank you. Big up to you. And then just before I go, I want to say a big thank you to Mohammed. You are so very consistent. Give yourself some treats this Easter. Go to somewhere and get a drink and tell them that my guests will pay. I know that you don't know his name, so all right, it's bye for now. My name's Dayo. Meet me again on Matters Arising from 8 to 9 this evening.